And welcome to episode 42 of Swiss Army Sports. As I have not even shared the slides yet because I'm a bum. Let's do that.
Fine.
Yeah. Oh my God. He missed them both. All right. Welcome to episode 42 of Swiss Army Sports. Today is February 10th. We were supposed to record yesterday, but Descript, man. Descript and one. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all know this, but we record this on Tuesday. Monday, the script was down. It was just, I never have had it before happen. So we're recording on Tuesday, and we'll do our next episode on Thursday, but we were going to talk about that at the end anyway. On this Tuesday, we have just witnessed Purdue blew a 16-point lead with under 2 minutes left, and it is now tied with Nebraska. That is crazy. Episode 42, again, I'm your host, Will Spain, former long snapper for the Troy Trojans, Ospey Governors, and partially Houston Cougars. Joined by my side, former office lineman for the Hendricks College Warriors, current man of electricity, Luke Wallman, and joined via Houston, Texas, the former kicker for the Houston Christian Huskies and Troy Trojans, current nephew of the red hot Troy Trojans, men's basketball coach Scott Cross. Chase Cross. Super Bowl recap, boys. I'm sure we have a lot to talk about this Super Bowl. One of the worst Super Bowl games I've seen in recent history, at least. College basketball picks of the week recap. Huge week for Chaser. I mean, absolutely killed it on the picks. Big winners and big losers from last week in college basketball. We got another edition of bracketology. It is updated to like last night's games. Had to go in and tweak one thing. Swiss Army Sports college basketball top 25. Waste Management Fees Open recap. EPL match week 25 recap, and I will even touch on today's EPL matches. Oh my God. Absolute cinema. And then a championship banger between Chase, I don't know if you saw Southampton and Leicester. I mean, just put on a absolute show. Olympic hockey. Yeah, it was insane, dude. Olympic hockey picks and preview. World Baseball Classic is right around the corner. We're going to give our picks preview for that as well. It is an absolute it's basically the Olympics again. I mean, it's absolutely stacked. It's going to be electric. A peek in Milan. We're just going to talk about our favorite event so far and talk United States. And then best of the weekend. So let's just get right into it. Super Bowl, guys. 29-13 Seattle. That score makes it seem like it was somewhat of an offensive game. It was not. That was all done basically in the fourth quarter. I mean, Jason Myers had 17 of the 29 points for the Seahawks. I thought he was honestly rightfully in consideration for the MVP trophy. Kenny Walker, though, hometown boy from Memphis, was pretty cool. I mean, the glaring issue to me was the offensive line for the New England Patriots was just atrocious. And Will Campbell, I mean, I get it. It comes out always after, same thing in UFC. Like, something goes bad, it always comes out after he was hurt.
Yeah.
So, okay. He was good enough to play, though. Like, he wasn't that hurt. And it's the most singular offensive lineman I've seen get abused in a football game in a while. And it was on the stage of the Super Bowl. And that's just brutal. I mean, it was just a brutal night for Will Campbell. And don't get me wrong, Drake May didn't play great. But, I mean, I would say about 75% of his poor play was a result of his backside is getting blitzed. Pause. He gets like a 2 count. And then all of a sudden, a 4-man rush is right in his face. And it was such a poor performance from the Patriots. I mean, Seattle rightfully was the best team in this game. What even confused me more out of this game is I wholeheartedly in my heart determined neither of these two teams are the best two teams in the NFL. And I honestly don't even know who is because, I mean, that was just an absolute just pile of crap that I was watching on TV. I mean, not like the Seattle Seahawks had any offense until the fourth quarter. And it was partially because, hell, Drake May was helping them the entire game. Again, because of the offensive line. I thought honestly, the highlight of the entire game was the Pats defense they held up. So, like, it's like a levee that keeps getting pounded and pounded by rain. And it finally broke at some point in the third or fourth quarter. I can't even remember. But, Luke, what did you think about the Super Bowl?
I think the real Super Bowl was the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I knew this Patriots team, like, I wanted to be respectful. I kind of put the 27-21 out there. hoping that would happen. But I knew Seattle was going to cover. I didn't know it was going to be that dominant though, because you single out Will Campbell. I think you could just put that whole left side on its own, because that left guard also got abused, not nearly
He's
as
also a
bad.
rookie as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. They're both rookies, and they both kind of got abused. And I'm like, oh, they're just going to send pressure at them all day. After that first drive where they got that sack and they miscommunicated off the blitz, I'm like, it's going to be a long day. But I think it was a better Super Bowl than last year's. We talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, I just
24-0 at half, by the way, Eagles.
there was just nothing more satisfying in my heart than seeing Patrick Mahomes just get destroyed in the Super Bowl.
Okay, I'll put the flip side.
Again, I mean, other
How
than
many Eagles fans do you know?
I hate the Eagles.
Half of my
You're
family
right. Yeah. Well,
is
I know way too many Philly fans. So I hated them winning the Super Bowl, but
So, yeah, that's another thing. Half of my family's Philly fans, so I had to listen to that, and they're like closeted NFL, which makes it even worse. But yeah, I thought it was an okay Super Bowl. It was definitely not like what was it, 2 years ago? When the Chiefs,
Yeah.
like who'd they beat? I can't remember. The 2 years ago one with the Chiefs was good, but this was just subpar.
Chase, what was the view from Houston, Texas on the Super Bowl?
Honestly, quite disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe it wasn't a terrible game. I was just so disappointed because it's been a crazy NFL season, and this was just so boring.
It was the Seahawks played very conservative compared to how they played their, obviously they thrashed the 49ers. And then, I mean, maybe it's just we're coming off that NFC championship and seeing how explosive that offense was. Seahawks start off, I thought, really conservative. And I mean, they played well enough to have a big lead going into halftime, a 2-score lead going into halftime. I just thought the Patriots, they're the only team that I've seen actively play for field position, I think, in a playoff game over the last couple seasons. I mean, it was so evident, like they were running the ball. Like it wasn't like 3rd and long. They were running the ball on 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 5s. Like, I don't really understand. I didn't understand a lot of that. And they were doing the same thing against the Broncos, and obviously it worked out. But their just inability to get the offense going until the 4th quarter. I mean, it was just an atrocious offensive performance. And then you looked at the stat line, and Drake May's got almost 300 yards. You're like, what? I don't know. But
it felt like, and tell me if you agree, once they unleashed like the vertical threat,
Field, yeah,
it opened the game up for the Patriots because, as you said, they were trying to like manage the clock and field possession or position on the field.
I just thought that, that they got a little too cute calling the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it worked for them in the game before. Like I know Drake May has struggled with turnovers in the playoffs, but it almost felt like they were trying to like avoid a turnover, and you can't play a game like that. Like
No.
you're in the Super Bowl, you got to go all for it. And it just felt like for a large part of that game that they were just really, they just weren't being as aggressive as you like. Now on the flip side, I thought the Seahawks D-line played their best game of the season. Their secondary
100%.
was great, but that D-line absolutely dominated the game. Their D tackles, Byron Murphy was fantastic. Their edges, I mean, the simulated pressures. Mike McDonald has a phenomenal defense that he's built there in Seattle. So we got to give him some credit because, defense won them this championship, but, also got to be impressed with the Seahawks on the offensive end because, Sam Darnold proved everybody wrong. Like, think about that. 6 years ago, would y'all have said
Hurts
Sam
my
Darnold
soul.
would be a Super Bowl champion? Like, no.
No.
Even when you,
I
like,
predicted
he was
them
a
to go
quarterback 2 years ago.
4-13 this year, Chase.
It's
4-13.
crazy.
You didn't join us in time for the NFL preview we did.
Mhm.
No one had them going above 500. Again, I probably should have seen the writing on the wall, but I just thought it was because of the explosive weapons the Vikings had that made and again, but
yeah, I thought their offensive line was going to be way worse than it was this year, but they obviously proved us wrong.
Yeah, no, shout out Seattle. Y'all deserve it, dude, I guess. But I mean, it was just so underwhelming.
Extremely underwhelming, but considering how good these playoffs were, just a very underwhelming end to
100%. Well, I mean, the season as a whole, right? I mean, this season was insane. And
the script writers, man, they were on a perk this whole year.
until
Also,
the end.
I do think Drake May was hurt. I think that was part of the reason for the conservative play calling. I saw something earlier today that said he was allegedly hurt. I don't know if this is another
No, I saw he was hurt pregame.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw he was hurt pregame. They shot him up with something. I just didn't think it was to that extent. Guys, and that's the end of the NFL season. The Cowboys would have beaten both these teams. I think we can all agree on that.
100%.
Hey, now we can move on to the Cowboys year. I mean,
This is the Cowboy. Oh, you're right. The Patriots turn. It's officially our year again, boys. Yes, sir. It is our time. So honestly glad as a Cowboys fan to just turn the page on this NFL season. It had so much promise, and our defense being an atrocity is, it kind of took us a step back. But let's talk some college hoops, boys. And we had an absolute banger to start us off on Friday night. It was Big East basketball in Madison Square Garden. And boy, old Mafia man Patino got the job done. And Chase, you saw the writing on the wall. You said this UConn team isn't built for March. They're not built for these big games. You were right. All credit to you, brother. You had a hell of a week on the picks, other than the Siena Saints letting you down. We'll get slightly into that. But did you watch the game?
Of course, yeah. This was an absolute banger. One of the best crowds I think I've seen for
it was
regular season
electric.
college. Like, it was electric. I do think that played a little bit into it. Like, obviously, St. John's had a massive home court advantage. MSG was rocking, but
And Zuby Ejiofor. Ooh.
oh my gosh, Ejiofor. This is obviously he's older, so he's not going to command a high draft pick, but he is one of the best players in the country that does not get talked about enough. Like, everything, he can pass the ball, he can shoot it, he rebounds the ball well, he'll defend your 7-footers. Zuby is a phenomenal basketball player. And then what's that dude's name? The little white dude they were talking about.
The one from
man.
Spokane, Washington. Darling.
Yes, Darling.
Gus Johnson kept going, Darling, my darling.
Oh my gosh. The balls that kid had down the stretch, that step back 3 to stretch the lead there for them towards the end of the game.
Oh my God, in his face.
Insane. I do think that, UConn has a very talented roster. Obviously, Solo Ball and Caravan are extremely talented, but man, when you're playing at home at MSG, Patino's going to have his teams ready, and I think this St. John's team has finally gelled and turned a corner, and this is a team to expect some big things in March.
Yeah, and I think this game for me was more about St. John's and UConn. I think UConn's a damn good basketball team. I agree with you after this game that they may not be built for March. They'll win a couple games, and they'll be like an Elite 8 team, but I don't think they'll be able to make the deep run that we may have originally thought. However, I think this really proved more for me that St. John's is a team that has an ability to win a high octane game against a great opponent. I can't even say a high quality. UConn's one of the top teams in the country. It was a great opponent. And granted, yes, you were at home. It's a conference game. Any road conference game is going to be tough. But I thought this was, huge shout out to Rick Patino. he had these boys ready to go on a Friday night, pretty much a standalone game in terms of like viewership on national television. And MSG was rocking. I thought it was just a really good game for St. John's. Luke, what did you take away from this one?
I actually slept through it. I fell asleep.
There we go.
I did not watch it, and I was pissed because I was watching a little bit of it, and I'm like, power nap. I would take like a 20-minute power nap because I was exhausted from work, and I didn't wake up till the morning.
That's okay. Northern Iowa. Everybody was right except Luke here. Northern Iowa 61-49 over the Bradley Braves. And this was just an overall good game from Northern Iowa, except from the 3-point line. That's kind of the only red flag I draw from here. But Bradley, man, you can't shoot 33%, 14 from 42 from the field and win a basketball game. I think that's Northern Iowa's defense clamped these dudes up and just made them uncomfortable the entire night. Huge home Missouri Valley Conference win for Northern Iowa. And then St. Peter's did get the best of Siena in a really tight game in the MAC.
I actually watched it. I thought they were going to blow it.
I did.
Honestly did, because they were up like that 5-7 range, basically that whole second half, and Siena kind of stormed back. I was like, oh. But they ended up holding it out at home, and St. Peter's is a damn good home team.
Dude, I told y'all though, Gavin Doty, 19 points. He was going to have a game. It just wasn't enough. And this will be like, guys, I can't wait for our conference tournament breakdowns. The MAAC conference tournament is going to be a damn good tournament with teams like St. Peter's and Siena in it. And we had the Iron Bowl on the hardwood. I mean, this game was tight all the way down the stretch. And
Can't believe Auburn lost.
I can't believe they lost either. Now, do I think this game should be voided 100% because Bediako or whatever was, ruled ineligible? But I think the name of the game here for Alabama was, as Chase loves to point out, Liberian Philon, dude. 25 points on the road at Auburn, your in-state rival. What you take away from Bama in this game? I thought this was kind of like a, show them that we're like, people are kind of writing us off. We're going to go into Auburn and get a huge road win.
Well, obviously, you got to talk about LeBaron Philon. I mean, he balled out. I mean, that was a big-time performance from him. Kind of like I said, he was going to have to step up if they were going to win this game.
You know what they shot from three in this game?
What they shoot?
52%.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
12 for 23. Bama lives and dies.
Lives and dies by the three, like I said before the game. So, that's the name of their game. They're going to win a lot of games because of that. They're also going to lose them. I don't trust this team as much as I did last year. I mean, they had a guy like Mark Sears who could go get a bucket anytime. I don't think this Alabama team has it. But honestly, watching this game, I still thought Auburn should have come away with this win, and they just
100%.
didn't. I don't know if that's because of the inexperience of a first-year head coach. I don't know if that's more just because they're maybe not as good as they were last year, but I thought that they for sure should have came away this game. I thought Pettiford actually had a really good game, but just down the stretch couldn't make the big plays and make the big shots that's needed from a guy like him. And I mean, you got to ask questions of this Auburn team. Like on paper, they're supposed to be really good, but they obviously haven't lived up to that expectation yet.
No, they haven't at all. And I just want to check in on that score right now, to be honest with you. They were playing Vanderbilt tonight. Yeah, Vanderbilt's up 80-73 with 30 seconds left. They're going to presumably get the win, which is a huge bounce back on the road for Vanderbilt. And just Auburn dropping back-to-back home SEC games is tough for the Tigers, especially as we get towards the middle of February. We got to start talking about teams getting hot at the right time, and Auburn is trending in the absolute wrong direction. But let's talk about teams that get hot at the right time. Let's talk about prestigious mid-major teams. Let's talk about teams that, constantly beat teams in the top 50 in KenPom. Let's talk about the Troy MF Trojans, baby, getting a 79-69 home win against the Akron Zips, led by the Red Mamba.
And
you familiar with Cooper Campbell, brother?
He was hooping.
Oh, that white boy. That white boy
can hoop. 25 points from Cooper Campbell. We had boots on ground. Talk to me about the environment at Trojan Arena, and how did Troy play against Akron in a huge home win?
I mean, I'm gonna start off. Troy fans need to start coming to the basketball games, man.
Okay, so I want to interrupt you on this. Since we've been in school there, and I was there a year earlier, this is my biggest pet peeve with Troy. We show out for football. We are damn near sold out for every football game, no matter how good or bad we are. We have an elite basketball team, and the city is not showing up for them.
Then I want to point. I've been to one Troy game, which we played. They played
UL Monroe.
UL Monroe.
It's okay. You're an honorary.
Yeah. But Roll Tide Willie was there. It was still nobody there, and I'm like, I would have figured people would show up.
Which we do okay in terms of attendance for like a mid-major team, but if I don't think Troy Nation and I do think Troy Nation cares about the basketball team. I just don't know why we're not getting out of our little podunk houses and going down to Trojan Arena for a $5 ticket to watch one of the best mid-major teams in college. Please, Trojan Nation, show up for these boys. They have earned your respect and your fandom. Like, you have to show up if you expect us to be good in every sport. I understand we start baseball season this weekend. It'll be freaking packed because we have a top 25 baseball team in the country, in my opinion. But
I do want to say another thing.
100 KenPom basketball team.
I know they're playing a top 50. This was the highest ranked team that they played in Trojan Arena, in Troy basketball's history that we actually had a chance to beat. First off, secondly, they had free concessions before the game for Mardi Gras.
Oh my god!
And they didn't show up. They free pizza, free King's cake, free drinks. They had it all, and people still didn't show up. It was ridiculous.
And the arena's, it's a great arena.
It's a beautiful arena.
It's a really good arena.
It's one of the most one of the most comfortable chairs too. Like they have
They're
every
all
single
padded seats.
Yeah.
all
There's
padded seats
literally
throughout
no
the arena. Like
excuse.
how many schools have that? So it just blows my mind. But now we got to talk about the game. Obviously,
Yeah, talk about the
Akron-
game. You were boots on ground. How'd we play? I mean, I watched,
honestly,
but I want to hear it from your
Akron's-
perspective.
I mean, I'm watching Akron warm up. I mean, Akron's big, fast. They have this one guard. I think his last name's Johnson, number 5. He's averaging 20 points per game this season, out of mid-major. That means he is a hooper doing that. So they've got one of the best players in the MAC already. This Akron team was red hot, 19-4 coming into this game. Obviously, probably second best in the MAC behind Miami, Ohio. Some would argue that they're maybe even better. They were rated 20 places higher than Miami, Ohio in KenPom. I do want to say that. So this was a really tough test. And I mean, outside the first maybe 5 minutes where Akron got out to a little 18-8 lead, I mean, Troy dominated the game for the rest of the game. Cooper Campbell had, he's struggled. If you're a Troy basketball fan, he's struggled over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no, Dowd and Valdez
the
have
season
definitely
red hot.
had to carry the had to carry the load.
Started the season red hot, but really kind of cooled off towards the middle of the season. But really stepped it up. 25 points, absolutely massive. Like I said, Akron's leading scorer Johnson did put up, I think it was like 26, 27. He was really the only threat though. They couldn't get a shot to fall. We defended really well. Thomas Dowd's an absolute animal and machine. Theo Sang had a really good game too. So, this Troy team kind of withstood a poor game from, one of their other guys, Victor Valdez. He went 2 for 12 in that one, withstood that and had a really good game and really a great bounce back week after losing back-to-back home games, getting, a tough road win against Georgia State and then getting a great home win versus Akron. That puts you right back, in the place that you want to be in terms of March. So,
Yeah.
Huge result.
100%. And those for y'all not familiar with where we stand at KenPom, we're 124th, but I feel like it's a little unjust, but I know it's mathematical. It has a spend on Washington State, UNLV, Penn State. Granted, Penn State is pretty terrible. UAB, St. Bonaventure, Georgia Tech. There's Loyola Marymount, who we lost to. But anyway, it's this Troy team is getting hot at the right time. That little mental reset they had seemed to have gotten to them good, and I'm feeling pretty good about the Trojans. Let's talk about buzzer beaters next. As we head to the ACC, North Carolina storms the court as they beat the Duke Blue Devils 71-68 on an absolute stunner by Seth Trimble in the corner. I don't think there's necessarily anything positive or negative to take away from this game from either team. Duke probably should have won. They shouldn't even really been in that position.
A huge
Yeah.
lead, and that is an issue. They scored 23.
But the only reason I say it's not an issue, and I'll argue this, is that it is Duke, North Carolina. That this is that game. That game's going to happen. It was at Carolina. But yeah, I agree. You had to hold on to that lead.
I know. And my only complaint from this game, I will say, it's not really from the game itself. It's from Shire.
Oh my God, the deflections. He wouldn't even answer a question about the damn game. It was all about the stork corming.
I know, and
Yeah.
I get you have people that run on the court for any big upset, you're going to get a court storm. You don't really hear any of these other coaches complain.
Well,
All
you always do
Shire
from the big
does-
schools for whatever reason. It's always the big,
Dude,
the
I
big
feel
guys are like,
it's-
oh,
Yeah, it's only Duke, I feel like. I don't
Yeah.
really, because I don't know, did Arizona get stormed last night, I'm assuming?
Nah, I don't think so.
No, I don't
But
think
I don't
so.
know.
But still.
Their coach was congratulating. He was like, I
Yeah.
want to stop talking about Darian Peterson. How about you talk about, how great this Kansas team played with their top player?
And, but all Duke does when they lose is just, pardon my language, bitch and complain. That's all they do.
BCD, bitch can play defend 100%.
Yeah, that's all they
well,
do. And it's
losing's not acceptable
aggravating.
there. So I understand. It's a different standard. I'll give a soccer analogy. Real Madrid is one of the greatest soccer clubs in the world, and they expect to win every single game. That's how Duke is for basketball. They don't expect to lose. They expect to go 31-0, 32-0 in the regular season and win national championships every year. So when they lose, it is a big deal, especially with the team that they have and how they lost that game. You can't sit here as a neutral fan and tell me Duke shouldn't have won that game. And then you look up and you're like, wow, North Carolina won off a buzzer beater. Now you got to give credit to this North Carolina team that's scrappy and is
We
pretty
lost to
talented.
Miami tonight, by the way, so I can't figure that shit out.
I know you can't. I don't think this is an elite Miami team, but and I don't like Hubert Davis. We are known
Yeah,
Hubert
no.
Davis on this podcast. he's doing enough to keep the job for one more year. But man, if I'm a North Carolina fan, I want him out as fast as possible because this isn't North Carolina basketball, and I just man,
Yeah, Chase, I think there has never been a more telltale sign that this isn't Carolina basketball than them storming the court for that win.
yep, 100%.
Anyway, our last pick, Florida beat the absolute dog crap out of Texas A&M.
Did you
which
see
is very
that A&M
satisfying.
had 2 points through the first 12 minutes of the game?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think a big thing too, the size played a huge factor.
Out athletic them in every
Yeah,
aspect of the
I
game.
know.
It just A&M's a damn good team. They are. They're a damn good
Oh,
team.
yeah.
They could have a first round win. They ain't built for playing with the big dogs. I mean,
You know how
only
I said
thing-
UConn isn't built for a national championship run like everybody said? Texas A&M isn't built for a deep run in March either. Like Buckyball works in the SEC. I didn't think it was going to work in the SEC. It works in the SEC. It's not going to work in March, especially when they run into a Big Ten team that has size, or if they run into Florida again, or any team that has size, they're going to struggle with because they're explosive, they play quick, but they play more like a mid-major basketball team like you'd see out of Sanford, not like a powerhouse.
that's a great comparison. Actually, thank you. Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. They do. They play like they're Sanford.
Yep.
Huh. That boy Chase. Picks leaderboard. Hey, dude knows ball. All right. 54-18 for Chase. You're at the top of the leaderboard. Big Mike, the producer, 67-26, which is still freaking ridiculous.
I'm going to point this out. What kind of pisses me off, Michael barely watches college basketball. Like, he keeps up with it.
He does. He keeps up, but he's like not what he didn't study it like me, Luke, and Chase do.
Yes.
I mean,
like, he doesn't submit a poll every week because he doesn't feel like he can keep up with it well enough. So it's just like,
yeah, that's some context for y'all there, guys.
I mean,
Look at
he
the
got
bottom.
lucky on
I
the
mean-
bull picks too. So I mean, he just must have good luck. I'm
Dude,
taking him to
brother,
Vegas.
And he won the freaking football pick'ems. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get this dude.
and then being
Hey,
Will around
take
here.
him to Vegas,
Oh,
man.
he is sneakily. He has like 4 computers going. He's watching like Merrimack play. He's watching Sacred Heart. Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god.
we're on to you, producer. You're playing this facade of I don't know that, but hey, yeah, you do. You're a ball knower. This week's college basketball, big winners and big losers. I feel like we have a lot to talk about here, especially since Chase left off a winner.
I think we know who it is, though.
I think we know who
I
it
had
is.
it. I don't know why it's not showing up on there. I had it on there. I used to say
You're
we
good.
know who it is. So
We know who
Yeah.
it is. I'm started off, dude. We have to start talking about Navy, and I feel like we cover mid-major basketball pretty well. This is a 20-6 team
They
in
were
the
good.
Patriot League.
I
who has-
watched them. They were good.
Yeah, they're a good team. They move the ball well. They shoot well from the perimeter.
Yeah.
They play good defense. They've won 8 in a row, guys. And the reason I wanted to point them out is because, one, they've won 8 in a row, but they beat American, who is known to be a pretty sneaky, like, upset team in the Patriot League. And then they went on the road and beat a really scrappy Bucknell team by 16. I mean, granted, and you'll see where I have them right now in the bracket. I don't think they're reaching that like either mid-tier of mid-major teams yet, but I think they're on the right trajectory. I think that our armed forces, whenever an armed forces team is this good, absolutely deserves the tip of the cap. I mean, they really struggle in basketball. I mean, for obvious reasons, it's a tough recruiting ask to come serve your country after you hoop, and it's hard to get people of size to do
Yeah.
it. So
Which they do have a pretty solid big man too. They're big guys. Like I'd say he's pretty big. I
No,
mean,
he's
like
pretty big.
6'9",
he's like
and he's
6'9",
fat.
which for Navy that's unheard of.
Yeah,
So I mean.
and he's built.
Well, yeah, you kind of expect that. But I mean, shout out to the midshipmen, and then we traveled to the Sun Belt. Oh my God, y'all thought I was gonna have a best of the week without the number 1 team in the Sun Belt, the Troy Trojans. They literally lost back-to-back games to 2 bottom feeders in Sun Belt basketball to James Madison App State. They said, "All right, we're done with that." They beat a solid Georgia State team by 11 on the road and then get a home win against a top 50 team in the Ken Palm and Akron. Troy Trojans, baby, you won this week. And then, I've been, and this is, I do love my Tiger basketball, so I'm so hard on them. They deserve my flowers for this past week. The Tigers are starting to look better. You got a good 10-point win on the road against UAB.
Which are oh my god, what's his name? It's the McNeese Nate transfer dropped 40.
Yeah.
He dropped 40.
And we still won by 10. And Charlotte, dude, who isn't
7-3 in the conference.
terrible, is, yes, solid. 77-54 home win. Penny Hardaway, welcome back, brother. You are a winner. losers. Oh my God. Y'all know I love my Gonzaga Bulldogs. We don't lose to Portland. Portland? Portland? Are you kidding me?
Talking.
Fort Storm.
I thought your dad was messing with me.
Yeah, I also because I woke up to
I thought he was messing with me. I was like, I know the Zags played Portland today. Why am I getting crap for this? We lost. Oh well. Doesn't go for today because they got a big win against Auburn, but the Vanderbilt Commodores, man, obviously they got it figured out today, but this was supposed to be recorded yesterday. Dude, you can't lose to Oklahoma. I think point simple blank at home. You can't lose. I don't care how many points you score in a row to lose by one. You can't lose. And then the same goes for UCF, man. I was kind of getting to where I was decently big on this UCF team, and they just had a horrendous week. I mean, they lost to Houston by 24, which, I mean, the Cougars do that to you.
But
to Cincinnati? Are you kidding me? Come on, UCF. You beat Texas Tech. You can't follow it up with two 20-plus point losses. Here's your winners and losers.
Yeah, and I want to speak on the UCF thing. They've covered against some good teams this year, so the Houston thing is kind of shocking. But it's kind of funny. Both of my winners, my top two, lost this week. So North Carolina, they obviously went in and beat Duke. It's a great win. I thought it was going to be a momentum builder for when they played Miami today, but they lost to Miami. Then NC State. NC State's quietly just been like creeping up the pack in the ACC. They were 9-2 as of yesterday. Now they're 9-3 because they got waxed by Louisville by 30. But they were trending in the right direction. They had won 6 in a row at this point. They had beat a solid SMU team on the road. They beat a good Clemson team at Clemson. I mean, they were trending in the right direction.
Yeah, you got to talk about last night, though.
Yeah, no. Then they ran into the buzzsaw.
What was the score of that game again?
I haven't, hold on.
What was
they lost by 40, I think.
118 to 77.
Dude, did you see his stat line?
Yeah.
Michael Brown had 45. I think he hit 12 threes. Hold on. I can find it. Mike Brown Jr. hit 10 threes.
He hit 10 threes. He had an absolutely great game for Louisville last night against NC State.
Which, oh man. I mean, you dropped 41 and 36 and a half. You dropped 77. You're like, okay, that's good. You let up 118.
118.
That's insane.
Talk to me about Morehead.
And then Morehead State. I mean, they beat, I think, the best team in the OVC.
This was an insane upset.
UT Martin.
Insane upset.
Yeah. I mean, they beat UT Martin 61 to 55. I mean, this was a huge upset. This was my mid-major game to watch. This was a very poor shooting game. I did watch, I think 10 minutes of this. UT Martin shot 26% from the field. Morehead shot 37. It was a terrible shooting performance for both of these teams. Morehead just made their free throws. They shot 89% from the line, and they got it done in a nasty, gritty win. And that's a great win for Morehead State.
Who are your losers, though?
My losers, BYU. BYU.
I can't figure them out.
Dude, I can't either. They are one of those teams where, they are supposed to be good. They don't have a signature win. If you look, their signature win is
their football
Baylor.
team.
Yeah,
yes,
it really
just
is.
like A&M.
Well, so they beat Clemson, and they have the Nova win in the first game of the year, and they beat Clemson. Outside in the conference, you lose to Arizona by 3, Kansas by 8.
They're kind of notoriously just playing people close.
Yes, they really have. And then
except Houston.
Houston was by 11. I mean, I still think that's fairly close for a 20. For where they're ranked at. And then you lose to Oklahoma State. At Oklahoma State, they lost 4 in a row before the Baylor game. So I just think they're kind of on the downside.
And look at the buzzsaw they're about to run into after Colorado.
Oh, they got
one Arizona, number 5 Iowa State. A UCF team, again, they had a bad week, but I'm not writing them off yet. Cincinnati obviously has the ability to win. So does West Virginia.
At home.
Yeah. And Texas Tech, they realistically, guys, and I can't believe I'm saying about BYU in February, they may have 1 or 2 conference wins left in them.
Yeah, it's a really scary thought because we all thought this BYU team was going to be really good.
Fringe tournament.
And the problem with them is whenever one of their guys shows up outside of AJ, either Rob Wright or Richie Saunders, only one of them shows up. They can't get a complete game from their full squad. That's why they're losing a bunch of these games. They're so inconsistent outside of AJ DeBanza, who's averaging 24. So they're my
Just
first
insane.
loser.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, insane. But my first loser is going to be, or second loser is going to be Illinois. They had that game won
Yeah,
at
they
Michigan
did.
State, and they just kind of blew it. Now, granted,
The
going to
refs.
Michigan State,
The officiating was terrible.
The
officiating
refs.
was
No, that
awful.
I mean I understand where you're coming from, but the refs were absolutely atrocious in this game too.
No,
I mean, they-
know. They missed the technical
Ridiculous.
call. They absolutely missed that technical call because especially with the
I'm with
repeat-
you, Luke. You gotta win that game. They should have won that game.
No, they should have. But like with the repeat offender as Fears, and he's going to stick his leg out and trip the dude, and we're somehow not going to get a technical fall. Absurd. But they're only here because they lost. I don't think it's really a bad loss because it's at Michigan State, but they had them on the slide. So then my final loser is going to be Tulsa.
Dude,
and
this was a team I was so big on.
yeah, Tulsa has looked great this year, unless they play South Florida. They have lost to South Florida twice. They lost by South Florida by 15 at South Florida, then they lost to South Florida by 6 at home. They just can't seem
Flip
to figure
that.
out South Florida.
Flip that. 6 on the road,
Oh,
lost by
all right,
15 at
my fault.
home.
Okay, that's even worse.
It's even worse.
Yeah, sorry. This I guess dyslexia. But so they just can't figure out South Florida. And if you can't figure out South Florida, you're not going to the tournament. And I think Tulsa's the best team in the American. But if they can't
Wide
beat
open.
them,
The Americans wide
I
open.
know. Because like I'm gonna throw because I'm homing. Memphis could like pull some bull crap and beat if they could only
Dude, here's the thing.
Like-
If this Memphis team makes the tournament,
oh my god.
people need to be scared.
Dude, I know that they'll output people. But no. So those are my losers.
Okay, sir. We gave our spiels. Time do you give yours, brother?
Well, I don't know what happened on this slide. It's showing up.
Oh,
for
I
me
think
on,
again, I think we know who this is.
Yeah. Well, it's showed up for me on the on off here, so I don't know what's going on. But anyways, no, obviously, big win for Troy, biggest home win in program history. Well, highest ranked home win in program history, which is huge. The boys are back rolling after a scary week prior to this. They were on my losers from the week before, and just the bounce back this week was it was tremendous to see. Hopefully they can carry it. They've got Texas State tomorrow. Hopefully they can kind of carry the momentum into the rest of this week and get rolling heading into Pensacola. But I mean, that's about one of the biggest wins and a domination. Like, obviously if you're playing a team that ranks that high, you don't expect to dominate the whole game like they did. I mean, Troy controlled the pace, controlled that entire game against Akron.
No,
So massive
at
win.
no point in this game did I ever feel nervous.
Not at all. Like, it was like we got this the whole game. I mean, and anytime Akron would make a little run, we'd follow it up with a big time 3 and just regain control of the game. I mean, it never drops below 9 to 12 points the entire second half. So massive win for the Trojans. And then probably the biggest winner across the country, I think everybody would say, St. John's getting a massive win against UConn. I mean, this was a team that I think a lot of us had written off after their first couple of weeks of the season, but over their last, I want to say they have won their last 10 in a row. I mean, they are one of the hottest teams in the country. Zuby Ejiofor is playing at an unreal level. They have good role players. This is a really well-coached Patino team. This St. John's team is awesome. I mean, this is a team to watch out for in March after a shaky start, but I do think
Wrote
all
them
those
off.
strengths-
I mean, very
Mhm.
prematurely.
very prematurely, because this is a really, really good St. John's team. And another team everybody wrote off was Kentucky. And I want to talk
Always
about
gonna bet
Kentucky
on
for a little bit.
Kentucky.
Like, yes, a lot of their wins haven't been pretty, but Otega Owe has been great over the
Dude,
last couple games.
he's been an X factor for him.
An X factor. Since he's gotten rolling, they have been on an absolute tear. They are 8-3 in conference, 8-3 in the SEC. By the way, they are tied for first place with Florida right now. I mean, that is just insane considering how quickly we wrote off
Quickly they
this Mark
started.
Pope team. So I mean, I think the Wildcats got to. I mean, this Tennessee team, obviously, we're not sold on them.
This team
but
sucks, dude. I'm not going to say
they
it
suck.
right now.
And so I'm going to get straight into my losers. Tennessee, man. You had a chance to get a statement win against Kentucky. They just sucked. They played horrendous after a great first half. They had the game won. And
They're a
absolutely-
team of two halves. I feel like they haven't. I mean, the games they win, they play a poor first half and play a great second half. They just can't put a full 40 minutes together.
And I don't know, like, I'm not even sold. Like, everybody's acting like Ahmed is such a good player. I mean, he stat line is, but when I watch him in games, like
I
Tennessee
don't think he's
goes
that
if he
good.
goes, and
Me
there's a
neither.
lot of times like he just kind of it's like he doesn't even show up. You don't even notice he's on the court. So I mean, this Tennessee team, I do think they're talented, and they still probably are a tournament team, but they're definitely dropping a lot lower for me. It definitely was a shocking loss considering the first half they had against Kentucky. Um, I'm sure Rick Barnes will get it figured out. He always does. He's a good coach, but man, it's just a disappointing result if I'm a Tennessee fan. And then the fact that Kentucky's social media department starts trolling them after the game with Morgan Wallen,
Yeah.
Tennessee fan, they beat us every damn year. Like that's you can't let that happen. So then obviously Texas A&M absolutely laid an egg. This was like their Super Bowl coming into this game against Florida. They're like, oh, blackout at Reed Arena. We're gonna beat Florida. You know how those Aggie fans get up, and man, they put up 2 points through 12 minutes. I mean, I'm so glad to have them in here. Like, I do think this A&M team is a good
I'm about to say,
basketball.
I know you were just grinning
Oh,
ear to ear.
I mean, 2 points in 12 minutes. Like, I was celebrating that. This game was never close. Florida absolutely dominated them, but I still think this A&M team's good. But they kind of have gotten knocked back down to reality that they are not in SEC contention. They're in tournament contention, but this is not an elite team. This is a good basketball program. They got some hoopers on there, but this is not an overly elite SEC team. And then Auburn lost 3 in a row after, kind of coming back to life a little bit, losing 3 games in a
Well,
row, obviously
make it
losing
4
tonight
now.
to Vandy,
Oh,
but
3 now, yeah, including,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they lost 2 last week and then losing tonight against Vandy. I mean, just a really tough stretch of games for the Tigers, and losing back-to-back home games with Alabama and Vanderbilt just is not a good look. So, um, it's just really sad to see because this Auburn team should be on paper a lot better than what they are.
100%. Those are our winners and losers from this week. So let's get right into the bracketology, fresh off the press from Swiss Army Sports. We have a shakeup in the 1 seeds, if you could not tell. Arizona's still my number 1 overall. I do not care that they lost last night to Kansas. I think Kansas is a damn good team. Losing 1 game ain't gonna make me bump you off that. Speaking of Navy, playing 16 Navy. 8 Indiana, if you have been following along, has jumped a lot higher for me over the past 2 bracketology releases. They're up to 8 now for me. Playing a 9 seed in Utah State. I've got Vandy down to 5, playing a 12 and Stephen F. Austin. I think that'd be an absolutely electric matchup.
SFA is
As do
really
I think
good.
this 4 and 13 right here
Yeah.
between Texas Tech and Hawaii. I think that'd be a damn good game too. This would also be electric little bracket here. The winner of Texas and San Diego State, which would be an absolute movie, getting Kentucky in the first round would be an awesome matchup. That's what I have here in the West. 7 Clemson against 10 Miami, and 3 Kansas against 4 Cal Baptist. I think Cal Baptist has done enough for me in the mid-major ranks, and also we've had some people fall out to move them to 14, as well as I think 15 Portland State is a team that continues to impress me. And I've got them playing 2 Illinois. Moving over to the Midwest, my number 2 overall seed is Michigan. I have them playing Long Island, the Sharks, at a 16 seed. 8 Georgia, 9 UCF. So Georgia gets the bump up to 8. 9 UCF gets the bump down. Another electric matchup in my mind. 5 Bama against 12 Belmont. I think that would absolutely be some upset potential. Gonzaga, East Tennessee State in the 4-13 in the Midwest. Arkansas at the 6, getting the 11 winner of the Battle of California. Cal and Santa Clara. This is a Santa Clara team that I feel like is not getting enough media coverage right now out of the West Coast Conference. They technically lead the conference right now in a conference with Gonzaga and St. Mary's in it. You're a damn good team. 3 Michigan State getting 14 North Dakota State. I think that would be one of those 30-plus point wins for Michigan State in the first round. 7 Tennessee, who I think if you really – and I was going to let you probably ask me this, but if you really think – I think this has a potential to fall to a 9. I think there's absolute floors of 10, but I think they're probably going to end up at the 8-9 range. Right now I've got them at 7 playing 10 USC and then 2 Nebraska playing 15 Wright State. This is of last night's games on Monday. Just remember that. Number 3 overall seed, the Cougars of Houston, playing the winner of the New Jersey Institute of Technology, NJIT, and Merrimack College. 8 Texas A&M, 9 NC State. NC State getting blown out, bumped them from an 8 to a 9. St. John's at 5, making a strong climb against the American Auto bid in South Florida. Number 4, Virginia, losing, obviously, to number 13 seeded Troy. Number 6, Louisville against number 11, UCLA. I think that is an absolute electric first-round matchup, as do I think this number 3, Purdue against 14, UT Martin matchup. I think that would cause Purdue some trouble. 7, Iowa against 10, SMU. I mean, SMU has not played well at all. However, I am still not sold on this SMU team getting a win in the first round of the NCAA tournament this year. And then 2, Iowa State against a sneaky good 15 to Austin Peay. Austin Peay has been putting a great stretch in a pretty tough ASUN conference when it comes to basketball. Over to the East, our number 4 overall seed is going to be UConn, keeping them there at 1 for now. 16 seed Morgan State / Bethune-Cookman playing in to play UConn. 8, Auburn playing 9, St. Mary's. This is where Auburn's tournament run ends. 5, BYU against 12, Liberty. 4, North Carolina getting a little in-state matchup against Winthrop at 13. St. Louis at 6, 11, Miami. 3, Florida. 14, the College of Charleston. 7, Villanova against 10, Wisconsin. And if you haven't paid attention to the Ivy League, folks, Yale has fallen out of first place. So it'd be 2, Duke against 15, Harvard. Love it. When it comes to the Ivy, I'm a Harvard guy. But college basketball, let's start bubble watch here. Last 4 buys, Wisconsin, USC, UCLA, and Miami in order. Last 4 in, man. Texas has done enough work for me so far to get in this play in. They are my first of the last 4 in after all of this shakeup we've had this past week. I mean, it's been absolutely madhouse around the bubble. Cal's 2, 3, Santa Clara, and 4, San Diego State. Let's talk about some teams that had some really bad weeks. It's not Missouri. They moved up from the next 4 out to the second team in the first 4 out, but Ohio State had an atrocious week. They are in the first team out. New Mexico had an even worse week in the Mountain West. They're my 3rd team out, and Virginia Tech had a bad week in the ACC. They're my 4th team out. Next 4 out are Oklahoma State, George Mason, and BCU, both representing that absolutely unbelievable Atlantic 10 Conference, and then TCU. Gentlemen, what do you think about this week's bracketology?
Well, first, I want to talk a little bit. I do think I agree with you about Texas being, that last 4 in. They have done a lot over the last couple of weeks. But one team I do want to point out on your bubble, Oklahoma State. This is a sneaky team. They are a good basketball team. They have played some really good hoops over the last couple of weeks. Oklahoma State, I do expect them to get back in the mix 100% for your on the bubble teams.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, we'll have some shakeup. The only thing I will say is I fully expect St. John's to keep climbing from a 5 seed and hopefully get up higher, as well as I do think Florida will probably push for a 2 seed down the stretch. But
yeah,
and also Iowa State could easily be that number
sneaky last 4 overall one.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So I mean, there's going to be a lot of shakeup here over the next couple of weeks with good teams playing good teams. We'll just have to see what happens, but it's just very interesting to me to see a lot of SEC teams hovering around that 7 to 10 range, which last year
it was a bad week for the SEC.
Really bad.
It was really. I've been doing the bracketology for long. We've been doing the segment on the podcast. This is the biggest moving week we've had so far in the bracketology season, at least since when I started on the first week of January. There was just a lot of mixing up of the seeds, both of the at-large bids and the auto bids, and then the bubble, man, was just a mess this week. It was a very interesting week in terms of who's in and who's out. In my eyes for bracketology. Luke, you got anything for our bracketology segment?
Yeah, I'm wondering to see how much is because we alluded to it earlier. If they don't, BYU not make the tournament, and right now you're sitting here at a 5 seed. I mean, it's going to be very interesting for BYU come down the stretch.
Yeah. So honestly, the only reason they're a 5 is I just can't, in good conscience, put anyone underneath them above them right now. I mean, if you want to talk about teams that could right now be above them, I think Louisville maybe has done enough. I think Arkansas and Kentucky are starting to flirt with maybe being enough. And the reason why I said they may be a bubble team is because
their schedule's hard.
Their schedule's hard. I mean, their schedule this last stretch, I could easily see them. I mean, we've got Kentucky, Arkansas, Clemson. I think Tennessee will fall. But, I mean, we've got Indiana who's playing red-hot basketball. Mm-hmm. We've got UCF who's shown promise. We've got Villanova who's playing damn good. We've got Iowa who's playing good. We've got Louisville. We've got a St. Louis team in the A-10 that is playing out of their mind. If I'm a BYU fan right now, if I'm a Storm and Mormon, I'm a little bit sweaty. I would not be comfortable sitting at a 5 seed right now just because we're at a 5 seed right now because you haven't even seen the demon schedule you have coming up here in the Big 12.
And I'm gonna do something real quick because to go. Oh, I was sentineled. Never mind then.
Yeah, they're 8-0 in quad.
Yes, because I saw something. I saw something. It was like Michigan was 8-0, and Arizona had only like won 4 quad. And I did not do any
got
research,
sentinels, brother.
I thought this morning, so I got sentineled.
All good. That concludes our bracketology segment. As we move now to the Swiss Army Sports, and it is going backwards for some reason. Swiss Army Sports top 25. It was very telling, actually, this week of all the mix-ups. Number 1, Arizona. 2, Michigan. 3, Houston. Man, this Houston team just does not go away. I love it. Go Cougs. 4, Duke. 5, Iowa State. 6, UConn. 7, Nebraska. 8, Kansas. 9, Illinois. 10, Michigan State. 11 fall the Zags out of the top 10 for the first time this season since the Michigan loss. 12, North Carolina. 13, Purdue. 14, Florida. 15, Virginia is a sneaky Virginia team, guys. This is a very sneaky team in the ACC. I feel like that may not be getting enough attention, too. 16, St. John. 17, Texas Tech. 18, St. Louis. 19, Clemson. 20, Arkansas. 21, BYU. 22, Vandy. 23, the undefeated Miami of Ohio. And I'm pretty sure the only MAC team that won in the Sun Belt MAC Challenge this past weekend. Shout out Sun Belt, obviously. 24, Louisville. 25, Kentucky. And receiving votes, 2 points with a 24th place vote by Chaser, Alabama. The Waste Management Phoenix Open, I feel like I could talk for another, we've already been on for 51 minutes. I got to speed it up, but I feel like I could talk another 30 minutes about the absolute come apart Hideki Matsuyama had on Sunday. He could not keep his drive straight. And again, you know this, I live bet it. I said, I want whoever is in the clubhouse down a stroke when he is making the turn on like 16 or 17. I'm going to put some change on because he can't hit a drive straight. Mm-hmm. And he really struggled with his big stick all day. Goes to 18, puts it in the absolute worst spot. Well, almost until we get to the playoff hole.
Yeah.
But he gets in that absolute, that layered bunker. He duffs it out. And he has absolute come apart. Now, I don't like the fan talking in his backswing on the putt.
That was ridiculous.
It was bullcrap.
That was awful.
Do I think he would have made the putt? No. It's the spirit of the game, guys. I understand it's the waste management. Say that for 16, not 18 when the leader is approaching his putt. Now, some clarity on the backswing on the driver. It was a staffer that accidentally knocked something over that made him stop. Yeah, it wasn't an unruly fan. But, dude, so we all golf. Luke, relatively.
Y'all too golf.
Relatively. But you're struggling with your driver all day.
Gonna ask.
All day.
Don't you go 3-wood?
You go 3-wood. He's been playing every other club out of his mind. Take a 2-iron.
Yeah.
All I care. You don't go driver. You don't hit it in the exact same spot. And this time, he wasn't so lucky. He got in the water, and Chris got her up, gets the win at the waste management. Picks-wise, dude, Chase, your boy had a hell of a run after a terrible Thursday. Scotty Scheffler finishing tied third. Luke, Sam Burns was awful. He got cut. And Victor Hovland really hovered around the top 5 most of the day, ended up finishing top 10 after a pretty rough stretch in his back 9. Chase, you did watch any of the waste management? What'd you think of it?
I watched a little bit of it. Obviously, I watched Sunday. Scotty Scheffler had a great comeback after a horrendous
He was that one putt on 18 away from winning this tournament. He would have won that playoff.
Yeah, 100%. But he's getting back into form, and it'll be really. I mean, you know how he's gonna be. Scotty's gonna be Scotty.
My favorite text that we ever get in our group chat is he is inevitable.
Yeah.
Here comes Scotty.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to compare him to Tiger Woods because
I will. I think he is equal.
But like he's inevitable. He's playing at that level now where you can never write him off unless he does not make the cut. But now we got to talk a little bit about Matsuyama. I mean, he had this tournament in his bag and played absolutely atrocious.
You were having the 3 easiest holes coming in front of you, and you had a 2-stroke lead after an unbelievable first 3 days. He's played unbelievably the entire tournament. He's won twice already in the Phoenix Open. And how do you fall apart?
I don't. Typically, he plays Phoenix well too, so that's the even more confusing aspect of it. Like, I just don't understand how he lost this tournament with how he played through the first 3 days. But more power to him. I I really do though. I thought that it was a good showing from Goddard just to, with all the crazy antics that was going on, it was a good result for him, and congrats to him. But I think probably Scotty Scheffler would have won this if he had made it to the playoff.
100%.
Which-
Luke, what did you think about the WM?
Yeah, I want to give a little fact. Hideki, his 2 wins were both in playoffs.
Yes.
So when I saw he was going to a playoff, I'm like, he's going to win this just because of the fact that he's won twice in playoffs. But like we said, why are you not going to a driver or a long iron, especially, a wood
yeah.
or a long iron, especially with how long these guys hit it? I mean, you can lay up.
He still would have been like 5-iron at. Like, it wouldn't have been anything incredible. Anything's better than the effing water.
Yes, I know. So, especially since you just hit it over there, like, I just don't think you go driver again. So,
hear me out, though. Maybe it's caddy.
Yeah, I don't know. But also, it could have been him being like
stubborn and like,
yeah,
I'm professional golfer, I'm going to hit my driver.
Yes. So, I don't know. That's just my only takeaway from it.
Yeah, look, man, Hideki, you got to be able to adjust on the fly. EPL Match Week 25 was definitely one to be remembered, and so was today. But we got to talk about last weekend. Leeds United 3-1 over Nottingham Forest, and I did pretty poorly on these picks.
That's 3.
Yeah, Luke did pretty dang good. Weirdly enough, me and Chase had this one at a draw. Luke had it right, 3-1 for Leeds. God, man, yeah, Man United dominated us. Tottenham Hotspur 2-0. We were playing with the red card. Luke and Chase were right on that one. Arsenal got a good win against Sunderland 3-0. With me and Chase, I'm pretty sure almost hit that score on the button. That what it was going to be. And then the look, predicting the winner's cool. When y'all predict draws, it's so satisfying to look at. I mean, y'all literally both hit this on the head. 1-1 draw between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. I thought.
We do want to say on this game, Bournemouth 100% should have won.
Yeah, they should have won. 100%.
They dominated Villa.
But that's the game of soccer. I mean, it is. It's
just like West Ham today.
Oh my God.
All right.
West Ham.
Dude, don't get me started, man.
We're going to take a timeout because we're not going to talk about those games right now. Probably talking about them on Thursday. The producer sent out a text. 30 seconds. He goes, oh my God, West Ham's actually going to win. 30 seconds later, what is his name? Sidiako?
Sesko, Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah. Puts it in the back of the net, 90+.
96th minute.
He's sold. He absolutely jinxed.
I have never seen, there's jinxing, but usually it takes time to set in. I have never seen such a concurrent bang, bang. And I'm like, obviously I was like, I went and checked the scoreline. I'm going, turn this stuff on. I'm like, I'm gonna watch Man United lose. Oh, and then I looked at my phone. I got a text from Michael like a minute ago, and I was like, oh, I was like, there's no way he just did that. Anyway, West Ham. Speaking of West Ham, good win against Burnley 2-0. Everton, Luke, dude, on a roll, 2-1 against Fulham. Chelsea, I'm so optimistic with Wolves here. Yeah, never mind. Chelsea 3-1 against Wolves. This game, Chase, was close. Newcastle was so close to getting back on the right step here, but a 3-2 fall for them against Brentford. Crystal Palace, man, out of nowhere, beats Brighton 1-0. And then the game of the week, dude, Man City against Liverpool, 2-1. Liverpool on a red card. We were right on that. Give me a quick takeaway from Match Week 25, Chaser.
Well, first off, I do want to point out, which it was a crazy stat they showed up. The Manchester City Liverpool game had more viewership than the Super Bowl, which I thought was
again.
Holy,
I don't think that's crazy. I think, look, the EPL is obviously it's the biggest league in the world. I mean, it is. The fact that we're talking about it on our American podcast right now weekly, I think kind of proves that point. I never argue with soccer fans that it's the biggest game in the world. It ain't the best game in the world, but it is the biggest. But go ahead.
Well, anyways, from, obviously looking at that game was a phenomenal game. Dominic Sloboslai's free kick for Liverpool was absolutely beautiful. But really the big results, I was really impressed with Arsenal's domination of Sunderland because Sunderland isn't a bad team.
No, not a bad team at all.
Not a bad team at all. They dominated them 3-0. Arsenal is looking like the best team in the world. And the other big result was Brentford beating Newcastle. But really, kind of my surprise of the weekend was the way Bournemouth dominated Aston Villa. Aston Villa is in third place in the league right now, and just got outplayed by Bournemouth, who's way down in the table. So definitely a little surprising for me there. But outside of that, I mean, it was a pretty
It was pretty chalk this week. It was pretty chalk.
It was pretty chalk. I mean, outside of maybe, I guess maybe you might say the Man United.
Well, I didn't see Palace getting a win.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I wouldn't say. Yeah, Palace definitely surprised me considering the run of form that they're on. But Manchester United, Tottenham, I think that was probably the only game this week that you probably would have expected to be a little bit closer, and then maybe the Leeds game. But it was pretty much chalk for the rest of the league. So,
100%. Just starting to get down to the wire, the EPL race for the finish. All right, let's prediction time, guys. Olympic hockey picks and preview. Oh my God, I am so excited. It starts tomorrow with Italy and Sweden kicking it off. It would be so cool if Team Italy, with like no NHLers, could pull off this upset against Sweden. They will probably get beat 10-0. But we got to talk about it. Group A is absolutely stacked in terms. Well, it's about even with Group B, to be honest. But Canada, McJesus. I mean, come on, guys. Switzerland with Roman Josi. I mean, this is a Swiss team we can't sweep on. But really, if you don't know hockey like that, you think the Czech Republic, Czechia, shouldn't be that good. I think got guys like David Pastrnak. I mean, this is a really good Czechia team. France will be terrible. Group B, Finland, damn good. Sweden's going to be damn good. Slovakia is going to be damn good. Italy's probably going to be pretty terrible. And then I don't know what the Olympic Committee, I don't know what we did for the Olympic Committee. I don't know what put us in this group. The United States in a group with Germany, Latvia, and Denmark. Now, don't get me wrong. Leon Draisaitl is awesome. He is a great player for the Edmonton Oilers. I love my Oilers. He is about it for Germany. Like, you can't just win a hockey game with one player. Latvia has good goaltending in Denmark. So, I don't want to say it's a two-horse race this early. It is between the United States and Canada for gold. Finland and Sweden. Sweden's kind of banged up, but Finland and Sweden will have a say in this, and I think the Czech Republic will surprise some people. And also, if you follow any international hockey tournament in terms of like the men's worlds and the World Juniors, which typically NHLers don't play in, Czechia beats Canada like very often. So that would be very funny if that happened. Let's get into our predictions though. Oh, surprise, surprise. To nobody, the United States is going to win gold. We're U.S. all across the board. And oh my God, I think the only way that we're truly satisfied that we win gold is if we beat Canada in the gold medal game. And I feel like that is just going to be the cherry on top. In case you missed it, gentlemen, there was a women's hockey game today in the preliminary round. The United States did play Canada. 5-0 domination. Y'all keep saying it. They run ads, by the way, in Canada saying it's their game. Not anymore, brother. We learned how to Americanize it. So, third place is where we really got to talk here. All right. Obviously, we're Americans. We're going to pick the U.S. Canada's got a hell of a forward group. We are way better on defense and our goalies than they are. However, I am so flip-floppy on this Sweden-Finland game. Like, who will come out on top between them? I mean, you've got an absolutely electric roster in goal for. You've got UC Soros, who's unbelievable for the National Predators, in goal for Finland. You've got Sweden though with Philip Forsberg. You've got. It's so flip floppy. I do think Sweden's the better team overall on offense, so I think they'll get the bronze medal. I really hope it is U.S. Canada for gold and Sweden Finland for bronze. That's how it should line up. Luke, you went with Finland though.
Yeah, because I did Google this the other day. They won it in 2022, so
Yep.
I do think they can squeak out the third place.
Okay, so
I know they're. I know.
Yes,
I know. Their captain is out with a knee injury, but still, if they won it, they obviously, even if it's one player, that's why you're getting bumped from gold to bronze. So, going with Finland.
Chase, why does Sweden get the bronze here? Just apparently, we,
like you said,
U.S.
I
owns
agree.
Canada.
Well, I think U.S. Canada that's what we're all hoping for. I mean, we saw the Four Nations face off last year, absolutely electric, one of the best sporting events of last year's sports calendar. So we'd love to see that again. But I'm always going to ride with USA in this spot. But Sweden, I do like Sweden's attack, and I do think they're solid in defense. Where I don't think the Swedish team is a pushover at all, and a team that could challenge for gold as well. But you know, I would love to set it up USA Canada, so they're just the third team out for me. But I do think that
Yeah.
they're a little bit better than Finland.
And don't get me wrong, I think the U.S. Sweden again, they're in no world in my mind is the U.S. not in this gold medal game. I think the U.S. and like Sweden/Finland would be a great gold medal game. It just wouldn't be as satisfying for me as Canada, us beating Canada. So the World Baseball Classic, however, is a totally different story. This always gets super spicy. This is always as the hockey will be very intense. I mean, this will be some of the best hockey you've ever watched. These boys love playing for their team, but they love playing for their country. As to the World Baseball Classic, especially with these Latinx countries, and there's fights that typically break out. I came across a video of the Canada-Mexico fight from last time out. That just kind of got me juiced up for this. So let's talk World Baseball Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Here are our pools. Pool A, who I think is absolutely stacked. Puerto Rico, Cuba. Y'all can't sleep on Canada. They have really good baseball players. Panama, elite, and Colombia. I don't know what the U.S. did to get these great draws, but we did. Pool B, the U.S. just has to beat Mexico. Because then we got Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil. Pool C, Japan, Australia, Korea, Czechia, and Chinese Taipei, also stacked. And then Pool D, also stacked. Venezuela, Dominican Republic, the Netherlands. And y'all got to remember, it's not just the Netherlands. It's also including like Curacao and all those islands they own. Nicaragua and Israel. So here's our semifinal prediction. Obviously, I just didn't want to make the graphic for all the quarterfinals and all that. Because this gets right to the point. The U.S. is going to be the team that wins Pool B. I think they will, and I'll break it down head to toe for you. I do think the U.S. is the team that comes out of Group B. I do think they will beat Cuba in the first round. I can't believe I'm remembering off the top of my dome now. I do think Puerto Rico is the team that gets out of Group A. I do think they will beat whoever. Mexico. Sorry. Thank you. Mexico to get to the semifinals. I think the U.S. will beat Puerto Rico. I do think that the DR is the best team out of Pool C, and I do think Japan also will play the DR in the semifinals. Guys, I mean, Japan's inevitable. I mean, they kind of dominated this last time out. I feel like, I went and snuck at y'all's picks. I feel like Japan's a little slept on here. Love your pick on the other semifinal, though. Other than Dominican Republic, I was flip-flopping on between them and your guys. But I think what we all want to see is a little revenge. The U.S. needs to play Japan in the championship game, and we need to show the Japanese that we still play baseball best here in America, and we are going to win the whole thing. Luke?
See, me and Will are on the same wavelength because there was no way I was not picking the U.S. The U.S.,
we're stacked.
Yeah, and I'm not going to not pick the U.S. in any event where I can. I don't care if they're the worst team in this thing. I am picking them to win it all. Anyways, so I'm picking Puerto Rico. I think they'll have enough. Even without Lindor, I think they still have enough. And Yachty's their manager. I mean, come on. It's Yachty Molina. I love Yachty. So that's part of the reason they're my other semifinalists versing the USA. And then let me talk to you about Venezuela. Now, I know the DR, I think lineup-wise, is the best lineup probably in the whole tournament.
I do think pitching hurts them a little bit.
Yes, pitching, that is the whole reason I'm going with Venezuela. Because Venezuela has some good pitchers like Pablo Lopez, Ranger Suarez, Eduardo Rodriguez, Jose Alvarado. They've got some good arms in that pen and starting role. And the DR just does not. So, now granted, that offense is elite. And I want to talk about this Venezuela offense. I mean, you got the Contreras brothers. You got Eugenio Suarez, who just hit a bunch of bombs. Gleyber Torres, Luis Arias, and Wilson Contreras in your infield. And you got...
Not to mention Acuna.
Yeah, you got Acuna and Jackson Chorio and Abreu. I mean, that is a pretty good outfield as well, especially because Acuna, I think Acuna is going to ball. I think this is going to be like a coming out part. He is going to ball in this tournament. And not to mention, you have Salvador Perez and William Contreras at catcher. This is a very slept on lineup. I mean,
I think a Venezuela American final would get a little violent.
yes, that would be awesome. But I think this is a very slept on lineup. And I'm only picking Japan because I want to see Japan again. They dominated that last tournament.
You just can't pick. I can see like same for the U.S. with me, but also just based off of logic, it's very hard for me to pick against Japan.
And it's very hard to pick against Shohei. That's another thing. But I could see Venezuela, I mean, maybe sneaking up and getting to the final.
Chaser, what do you think about this World Baseball Classic? And again, shout out to Chase because he said, screw the United States.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the U.S. I'm a little pissed with how we constructed this roster. I don't think this is the best team that the U.S. could put forward. I was a little pissed off also how they handled Mike Trout too.
He should be on this team.
He should be on this team. He's Captain America. Obviously, has not played to Mike Trout's standard over the last couple seasons, but he deserves to be here. I like Judge as captain. I mean, this team is absolutely loaded. The pitching for the Americans is just sick. It's a really good roster. Now, where I'm going to get into it. Mexico is sneaky. Randy Arozarena was phenomenal last World Baseball
That
Classic.
outfield is good.
Chase, you don't know this. I named my I like the Rays, if you didn't know this. I named my dog after Randy Arozarena because we got her in 2020 when they were doing that World Series run. They had just beat the Yankees when I found out we got her. And yes, she is named Rosie for Randy Arozarena. But yeah, thank you for that.
Even more, you love this pick then. I do like Puerto Rico a lot, but they're missing probably their best player from their country in Lindor. Randy Arozarena just for whatever reason shows up in big time moments, and even more so for Mexico. I mean, he was one of the best players in the previous World Baseball Classic. So I don't see them winning Group B, but I see them maybe pulling a sneak upset against either whether it's Puerto Rico or Cuba. I think it's going to be Puerto Rico, but the U.S. will have too much for them. So I see the U.S. getting a pretty easy path to the championship game. Now where it gets a little interesting.
The other side of the bracket is where everything gets interesting.
Everything gets interesting. Obviously, I think Japan is supremely talented. But they've been winning too much. You can't win this much. Like, I mean, I know I'm generalizing because it's just Yamamoto and Otani, but they've won too much lately. There's no way it can keep continuing, and I'm probably going to get clipped. They're going to win another World Baseball Classic, whatever. But there's no way it continues. And now if you look at this Dominican Republic roster, I mean, it is absolutely insane. I know y'all are down on the pitching, but they do have Sandy Alcantara, who on his day is a really freaking good pitcher. And they also have Luis Severino, who has been really good in the past as well. Coming out of the Payne, Gregory Soto, Camilo Doval, like they're going to be fine. Wandy Peralta will pick up some innings there. This is not a bad pitching staff by any means. But when you look at what they're going to have, Manny Machado at first base, they'll have Vladdy DHing, Ketel Marte, Jeremy Pena, Geraldo Perdomo. I mean, it is absolutely loaded. They even have Austin Wells catching. I mean, this is insane. And then their outfield, O'Neal Cruz, Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr. I mean, this is one of
Vladdy should be playing for Canada. I just want to put that out there. He was born in Montreal. Want to put it out there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, this is the best roster we've ever seen. And I'm homing. You know I'm a big-time Padres fan. I don't want to pick against the United States of America, but, man, I would love to see Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. win something of some significance.
Why not Mason Miller?
Yeah, why not Mason Miller?
Yeah, man. I mean,
yeah, Mason. I'm going to send this to Mason Miller.
You don't understand. Y'all don't understand. My favorite athlete of all time of any sport is probably Fernando Tatis Jr. So
that is insane.
I know. Crazy.
I honestly did not know you were this big of a Padres fan.
Well,
I am a massive Padres fan. I'm a huge Tatis guy. So, you know, I would like to see him win. Honestly, I think it's going to be a really fun game between the U.S. and DR, and I feel like a bad American for picking Dominican Republic, but
you are.
In an Olympic year, in a World Cup year, in a World Baseball Classic, I'm going to pick
them in every other tournament. But this is
I
the
will
only
not
time.
pick us the World Cup. I will say that right now. I have enough sense in my mind. It is coming home, and I'm not going to get on that trend right now, but
we're gonna have a conversation about
Yeah.
this in the next couple weeks with
oh yeah,
when
We'll
college
scare off some
basketball starts
redcoats.
winding down. We're gonna start talking the World Cup.
it is
Man,
coming home. It's
gonna get
coming
heated,
All
but
right, all
home.
right.
anyways,
Football's coming home.
I think this
I'm hungry.
World Baseball Classic is going to be an absolute banger. The U.S. is going to be in the championship. Could be versus Venezuela. Could be against the DR. Could be versus Japan. We're going to have to see here, but it is going to be a banger. It always is, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm so pumped to watch it.
I am too.
So pumped.
A little look in on the Olympics. Again, we said Norway was going to be a threat as we did Germany. They are leading the gold medal table right now. U.S. sits in 5th behind Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, and Norway. If you notice, one country that's not on this list, it is Canada. Haha. Best things that happened this weekend. Won the Olympics. I love the Olympics, guys. And especially the Winter Olympics. I already talked about this. It's my favorite. I have literally every event I've been awake for. So from 5:30 a.m. to when they stop playing events. So my dad, obviously, I'm working, but my work's a little less taxing than his, so I get to watch some of the Olympics. I've seen every event, and he's like, I want to watch the Olympics on TV. So for dinner every night this week, I've been watching reruns of shit I've already watched. And if I'm really like, if he pissed me off, I'd be like, Sweden wins silver there. Like, I won't give away the gold, but I'll start giving away positions. Anyway, the Super Bowl was terrible, but the food was great. We had family and friends came over. It was like, Super Bowl potluck kind of thing. I mean, we just had some absolute banger food. Someone brought Wingstop. My eyes lit up and I started crying. It felt like a UFC fight night. And, even Luke starting to ditch us for that. And then USA women's hockey, guys. Canada has never been shut out in Olympic history, men's or women's, in hockey.
I might have to text Chloe.
Until today, when they got blanked 5-0 by the U.S. Oh my God, I felt so patriotic. I had a little. Anyway, yeah, USA MFer. Luke, what happened this weekend?
All right, so I didn't watch the UFC.
I did. Banger card.
It's not really pertaining to the UFC, but a bunch of the dudes I work with, we're all going to get together and watch the next pay-per-view.
Which, by the way, he usually spends every pay-per-view at my house. I'm heartbroken by this.
Yes, so I'm going to verge you out from Will for a weekend, and but dude I work with, his girlfriend, whole family's from Mexico. She's making us tacos, so I am pretty freaking hyped. She's gonna make us like birria tacos. Apparently they're amazing, so I'm excited for that. And then I'm helping coach the middle school track. I help coach the middle school football, and I'm doing the middle school track with a bunch of the linemen I coach. So I'm excited to get back out there and work with some of them. They're great kids. And then Daredevil. I watched Daredevil this weekend. I'm in season 3. I'm almost on to the new show, but there's some badass fight scenes in this 3rd season. I mean, it is awesome. So those are the best things. Oh, it's a great series. It's a phenomenal series. I really recommend it.
Chaser.
Well, first off, I was down in Troy this week, and so obviously I got to stay at my aunt and uncle's, and they have a pretty sick setup. They have 2 massive TVs in the living room.
I wonder why his aunt and uncle have a sweet
setup. I think my setup's better.
Oh, I got it.
They have 2 massive
basketball
TVs,
coach
and
got
they
across.
have YouTube TV. You can literally watch 8 games at once. So I got to watch a ton of college basketball this weekend. Really dive into that. It was awesome. It was a great weekend of college hoops, and then it got capped off by Troy beating Akron, which was a phenomenal result.
Could you say vibes were at an all-time high on the Cross household?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. On the team, every guy I talked to, we went out Saturday night after the game. Vibes are
TTP?
Yes.
Oh my God. I need the porch like I need water, dude. I need to come back down.
Dude, I hadn't been in a year. Vibes were great. The team was at an all-time high. So, it was fun. And then the Super Bowl, I mean, it's always an event. I enjoy the commercials. It's fun. I don't know what y'all think about the halftime show, but what made it great is I saw Ronald Acuna and Jessica Alba on the field. So that made it a banger halftime show for me.
I'll comment on it. All right.
I saw Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal too. I mean, that's the Mandalorian right there. So
I want to put this out there right now. Do not hate Bad Bunny's music. I really don't. I mean, I used to Michael used to walk out to Chambea in our wiffle ball league. Like, I mean, dude can't sing live. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, I
No,
don't know.
I
Now,
think the
don't get me
audio
wrong.
was
The
messed up
acoustics are
too.
usually bad for this halftime show, but they seemed like extra bad. And when, like, again, the only reason I say acoustics because, like, even Lady Gaga sounded bad, and she has an amazing voice. I just, not that I don't think it was a good halftime show. I think he did a fine job. I just think there were so many much.
Better.
I could name about 25 artists. Right now.
I can name
Metallica.
about
Yeah, I can name
50,
about
but
25 artists right now off the top of my head that I think me and about 75% of America would rather have seen. However, I think, he was
Message was good. I
it
thought
was
the
a
message
it was a
was great.
good message. And I think my bar was pretty low just because of he got to say he's
Storytelling
going to
was
do some
good, too.
outlandish stuff. Huh?
the storytelling was good too, to be honest.
I mean, to be honest with you, didn't understand a damn thing he was saying. So I
Nope.
could
Yeah.
not tell you if the storytelling was good or not.
No, I'm saying just like
Uh,
looking at it, like he was telling the story of Puerto Rico, which was
Uh,
kind of cool.
yeah. I mean, again, I just couldn't.
I didn't like it just because I didn't understand it. I don't think he's got a good voice. I honestly
He
thought
doesn't.
he'd have
He
a better
doesn't.
voice.
So I'm gonna pose
You know
this
what?
question
Luke said
for
it,
you
ain't
before
me.
we end. So who would y'all like to see next year?
Metallica.
Metallica. I think
Metallica.
Metallica
That
is
would be
so
sick.
overdue for a
Dude,
Super Bowl concert.
Metallica did
the
Russian
thing.
concert. Did the Russian concert, and it was huge. It's one of the biggest concerts ever. People know Metallica.
Yeah. I would like to see Metallica. I would like to see Creed. I think Creed could really reunite the people.
Creed would be great.
Dude. But also, like, hey, y'all are gonna laugh, dude. I think an NBA YoungBoy Super Bowl
That
halftime
would be
concert would
crazy.
go nuts. I would love it. I would love like Kodak Black or something. Like, not. Here's the problem. I'm a huge rap fan. That's my main genre of music I listen to is rap. I hate that we haven't gotten like the only rap artists we've gotten have been like the absolute most mainstream rap artists ever. Snoop Dogg. Now that Snoop Dogg Eminem halftime show was unbelievable.
Oh, that was
And like
awesome.
Kendrick Lamar.
I didn't really.
I don't love
I
Kendrick
didn't like-
Lamar.
and he
I
didn't
think
do
Kendrick
any of
Lamar's-
his real songs.
Yeah. And I think Kendrick Lamar's one, I think he's kind of niche. I think you have to like his flow to like Kendrick Lamar, and I don't like his
100%.
flow. But I just like I listen to so many different artists that I feel like could put on a really good halftime show. Like the fact that Drake haven't had a halftime show yet is unbelievable.
That's what it's
Um,
unbelievable. If you look at his catalog, I mean, it's up there in terms of just like amount of hits that he has. It's up there with Michael Jackson. So
It
I mean,
is. I mean, here you go. There you go. My submission for next year's halftime show is Drake. I do not care if he's Canadian. Anyway, that'll do it for episode 42 of Swiss Army Sports. This has been Will Span, Luke Wallman, and Chase Cross. Until Thursday, we are going to be breaking down this upcoming weekend of sports. Have a good night.